On today's IRS tax refund update, as we are just days away from the tax filing deadline, we will recap the latest developments, including the next batch of tax refunds scheduled for release, as well as those ongoing tax refund delays, including those still experienced tax refund holds under the 570 tax transcript codes, including the top notices being sent out to those impacted from there. We will take a look at those experiencing refund delays, still due to the need to complete ID verification. Starting off with the latest, as the next round of direct deposit tax refunds is scheduled for release on April 16th, as confirmed by the tax transcript seen here. Now, if you are part of this latest refund batch, do allow up until April 22nd for that deposit to post to your bank account before initiating a payment trace with the IRS. Meanwhile, the amount of unprocessed tax returns, including many of our viewers, is still holding at over 1.5 million remaining, which is guaranteed to continue to remain well past the tax filing deadline. Also, as a reminder for those still waiting, refunds will be subject to interest exactly 45 days after the end of the tax filing period ends on April 15th. Meanwhile, the number of those still experiencing delays who are encountering the 570 tax transcript code continues to grow, and the transcript seen here submitted by one of our viewers currently shows the 570 and 971 codes appearing with two separate dates, with the 570 code showing an April 8th date and the 971 code showing a future date of April 22nd. If you encounter these codes with two separate dates, it does mean the IRS is either continuing to review the tax return or they are attempting to resolve the issue they have discovered. Oftentimes, we see tax returns selected for random review of income and/or tax withholding reported, and not because of a specific issue found with the return. Now, under this scenario, these are the three likely letters you can expect to receive, starting off with an IRS letter in the CP05 series like this one on the far left, which is a request by the IRS for the taxpayer to prove the income and/or tax withholdings you reported on their tax return. If you receive this letter, it is often a request for copies of pay stubs and the W-2 form you received from your employer. And in cases we have seen, this could in fact be completely random, even if you have never had any previous tax issues. The IRS also will receive a copy of your tax forms from your employer and other businesses, so they may be comparing the two copies for accuracy. The second likely notice some will receive is those who are claiming the Earned Income Tax Credit or Child Tax Credit, which will be the CP75 notice as seen here, requesting the taxpayer to provide documentation as it relates to their dependents, such as a birth certificate, proof of residency, and age. Again, this is usually a random selection, so even if you have been claiming the same dependent for many years, it unfortunately does not mean you are exempt from having to go through this process. Meanwhile, the third likely letter is the 2644C notice, as seen on the far right, which simply indicates the IRS needs additional time to review your tax return, which is often quoted at 60 days. For those who receive this letter, that is not a definite timetable. And as we have reported over the last 2 years, it is possible you may receive multiple 60-day notices while you wait for the IRS to resolve any issue. The second top issue causing refund delays continues to be the need for ID verification so that processing can continue on your tax return. Oftentimes, this is completely random, and regardless of whether or not you have had any previous tax issues or other changes with your tax situation. Due to the increase of fraudulent tax returns being filed in recent years, the IRS computer system is taking additional steps to prevent improper tax refunds from being released, which has resulted in the increased amount of ID verification requests. For those impacted by ID verification, expect to receive one of several notices from the IRS, usually the 5071C as seen here. Now, the version of this notice on the left is the older version, and the one on the right is the newer version that was released starting last year, so you may receive either one of these in the mail as a result. However, just like last year, many who were supposed to receive this notice never did, and as a result, were not even aware ID verification was the cause of their delay until contacting the IRS. Meanwhile, we continue to have many viewers deciding not to wait for the notice to arrive in the mail, and instead scheduling an in-person appointment at a local IRS office, which can help reduce the wait of that tax refund by possibly several weeks. Let us know in the comment section below about your ongoing tax issue. In the meantime, we will keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.